Good morning students. Welcome you all in online teaching session of Academic World School, Bemitra. Dear children, we are learning the second chapter, that is Indian Economy 1950 to 1990. In this chapter, today we will going to learn the industrial development from 1950 to 1990. In this topic, we will learn the following subtopic, that is role of public sector units, small scale industries and industrial policy regulation 1956. Before I begin with this topic today, I want to take you all back to the previous chapter, that is Indian economy on the eve of independence. In that chapter, we came to know that the industrial development was not good during the colonial rule. There have been decline in the handicraft industry during the colonial rule. So industrial development was very poor. In this chapter, we will learn what are the development have been done after the independence in the field of industrial sector. So let us begin with this topic, that is industrial development from 1950 to 1990. My dear children, progress of any country depend upon the sound industrial base, proper industrial infrastructure. This leads to development and growth in a country in terms of employment, in terms of per capita income, in terms of GDP growth, in terms of improving standard of living, and many more advantages we get from the industrial development. So industrial development play a very important role. In India, after the independence, there were only few industries. In India, after independence, there were few industries only. There were cotton and jute industry merely developed, and there were well known two industries only was there, that is the iron and steel industry. One is located in Jamshedpur and another is in Kolkata. There was no sound industrial base in the country after the independence. So there was immense need to develop the proper industrial base in the country. And to develop the proper industrial base in the country, there was need of planning. So the Planning Commission of India started making a plan, policies and strategy to do the development of a industrial sector in India. And they started deciding the role, responsibility of the private sector and public sector to bring the development of industrial sector in a country. So my dear children, now we will going to learn the role of public sector unit in industrial development. Before begin with the role of public sector unit, I want to explain you the meaning of public sector unit. Public sector unit are those business enterprise which is run, managed and controlled by the government. Public sector unit are those business enterprise which is run, managed and controlled by the government is called public sector unit. So, to bring the development of industrial sector, the important role have been given to public sector unit. To bring the development of industrial sector, the important roles have been given to public sector unit. So to play an important role, government venture into the industrial sector through public sector unit to bring industrial development. So we will see now why the public sector unit given the major role to play initially, and there are certain reasons. So we will learn that reasons now. What I have written? Reasons for the allotment of major roles to public sector units. What was the reason? The first reason was the lack of capital with the private sector. What I have written? Lack of capital with the private sector. This was one reason behind giving the major role to the public sector unit. It means the public sector private sector entrepreneur were not having the sufficient capital in the hand to enter in the field of industrial development. There were only two well-known industries was there at that time. That was the Tata and Birla, which is still today a famous industry in our country. So due to lack of capital in the hand of private entrepreneur, the role was not given and the responsibility was not given to them to bring industrial development. And therefore the public sector unit took the major responsibility to bring the industrial development. On the other hand, there was lack of incentive to private sector. There was no economical profit for the private sector at that time to enter in the field of industry, because the size of the Indian market was very low. And low size of Indian market means the total aggregate demand of the country was at very low level. Because of this reason, the private entrepreneur were reluctant to invest for the development of industry in our country. It was not economical profitable for them because of the low size of the Indian market. And the third aim was to bring the social welfare. The aim of the government was to social welfare in the economy, to do the social welfare of the economy. This was the objective. So the public sector unit establishment have been done to do the growth with the equity, so the proper welfare will going to take place in the country. So this was the three major reasons behind giving the responsibility to the public sector unit to bring development of industries in our country. My dear children, look once again why the role have been given to public sector unit to bring the industrial development. Because of three major reasons, and the first reason was that is lack of capital with the private sector. Private sector could not have the sufficient amount of capital in the hand. The second one, lack of incentive to private sector. For the private sector, it was not profitable to invest at that time due to the low level of aggregate demand in the country. So they were reluctant to invest. And the last aim of the government was to bring to do the social welfare of the country, to bring growth with equity in the country. So therefore, the major role have been given to public sector unit initially to bring the development of industrial sector. So this was the reason behind the giving major role to the public sector unit to bring the development of industrial sector. Now dear children, we will going to learn the next subtopic, that is small scale industries. Small scale industries are those industries which do the production of goods and services at a very low scale, in a very low size. Small scale industry are those industries which do the production of goods and services at very low scale, and the investment is up to ₹1 crore refers to a small scale industry. I am writing down the meaning. Dear children, please pay attention carefully. Small scale industries are those industries which do the production of goods and services at the very low scale, and the investment up to ₹1 crore in the assets of a unit refers to a small scale industry. Small scale industry is termed when a particular particular unit having an investment up to ₹1 crore and doing the production at a very low scale, low size, that is refers to a small scale industry. So under the 5-year plan, the assistance was given, the reservation have been done for supporting the small scale industry. What was the reason behind that? The small scale industry mainly found in the rural area, and development of a small scale industry in a country will lead to the rural development. Apart from that, it will lead to generate employment. It It will help to generate employment in the country, especially in the rural area. Then it help to bring rural development. It also help to mobilize the local resources, etc. are the benefits of a small scale industry. Therefore, the government took various steps to protect the small scale industry from the large scale industry. Small scale industry cannot compete with the large scale industry, and to protect them, government follow the certain steps that are to protect the small scale industry. Government took various steps. The first step the government took to protect the small scale industry, that is the first one, reservation of the product. Reservation of the production. What do we mean by the reservation of the production? It means the government fixed the production of a number of products for small scale industries only. That number of products will not going to produce by the other medium and large scale industry. And this has been done to protect the small scale industry. Second one is the various assistance. Various assistance have been provided by the government to the small scale industries. Example, tax holiday. Means in the initial year, small scale industry, those who are small scale industry will not charge the tax by the government if they are developing the small scale industry in the rural area. Then some exemption from the excise duty, availability of bank loan at a low interest rate. These type of assistance were given by the government to the small scale industry. The first one, low interest rate for obtaining loan. Then tax holiday, etc. benefits, assistance have been given by the government to promote the small scale industry. Let us look once again the small scale industry. Small scale industry are those industry which do the production of goods and services at the very low scale, and the investment is made up to rupees 1 crore in the assets of a unit is called small scale industry. Small scale industry have a various advantage because it generates employment in a rural area. It helps to bring the equal development of rural and urban area. It helps to generate employment. It helps to mobilize the local resources. It helps to develop the skills among the local people. So for all that benefits, government started supporting to promote the small scale industry, and that have been done by reservation of the production. Means government reserved the production of a number of products for the small scale industries only, and on the other hand government started providing various help to the small scale industries like tax holiday, bank loan at a very low interest rate, exemptions from excise duty. So the development of a small scale industry will going to take place. So this was about the small scale industry, children. Now we will going to learn the next one, that is the Industrial Policy Resolution 1956, IPR 1956. Industrial Policy Resolution 1956 is adopted by the government on 30th April 1956. Adopted by the government on 30th April 1956. IPR, Industrial Policy Resolution, is a comprehensive policy. Is a comprehensive policy which laid down the various procedure, rules and regulations, policy by which control of industrial enterprise will be done in the country. Industrial Policy Resolution is a comprehensive policy in which various procedure, principles, rules and regulations are laid down by which the control and the management of a industrial enterprise will be done in the country. Next, it also help to solve the problems of different industrial enterprises. As according to IPR policy, or by using the IPR policy, the government can solve the issues and the problems of the different industrial enterprise in a country. There are many policies, rules and regulations are laid down by which or according to that the company or industries will going to run in the country. So any problem to any type of industries are there, then government will going to solve it with the help of IPR policy. So this is about the introduction of IPR, that is a Industrial Policy Resolution. Once again I am revising this. Industrial Policy Resolution is a resolution adopted by the government on 30th April 1956. It is a comprehensive policy in which various principal rules and regulations, policies are adopted by the government to manage and control the industrial enterprise in a country. Apart from that, by using the IPR, government started also solving the problems of different industries in a country. So that important this IPR policy is. Now we will learn the very important element of IPR, that is a Industrial Policy Resolution 1956. Important elements of Industrial Policy Resolution 1956. Important element of Industrial Policy Resolution 1956, and the first important element is that under IPR the classification of industries have been done. As per the IPR 1956, all the industries of a country are classified into 3 different categories. That's why the first important element is the classification of industry based on the ownership have been done. Let us see how this classification have been done. The first classification is termed as Schedule A. Second, Schedule B. And the third, Schedule C. So all the industries were classified into three different categories. The first one, Schedule A, Schedule B and Schedule C. Schedule A comprises industries. Schedule A comprises 17 industries. Means under Schedule A, total 17 industries have been listed as per the IPR. It will be owned by the state. It will be exclusively owned by the state. Only private sector unit were allowed in these 17 industry to start their enterprise, not the private sector. Example of the 17 industries are here. The first one, arms and ammunition. Then atomic energy, railway, aircraft, shipping, oil. These industries have been listed under the Schedule A. Let us look once again. Under Schedule A, 17 industries were listed, and that are the arms and ammunition, atomic energy sector, railway sector, aircraft industry, then shipping industry, oil and natural gas companies and others were listed under the Schedule A. And in these 17 industries, only the public sector units were allowed to start the company, and it will be owned by the state. It will be going to be owned by the state. So this is about the Schedule A. Let us go for the Schedule B. Schedule B comprises 12 industries. Schedule B comprises 12 industries, and it will be progressively owned by the state. Progressively owned by the state in the future. In this again, the public sector unit will play the major role in the 12 industry. Public sector unit will play the major role. Public sector unit were allowed to establish the plant in these 12 industries. On the other hand, the private sector will going to provide support. Private sector will provide support to this public sector unit under the Schedule B. Let us look once again. Schedule B comprises 12 industries which will be progressively in the future going to owned by the state government. In this 12 industry, public sector unit were playing the major role, and support from the private sector was given to develop the industry. What are the examples of the industries under the Schedule B? The first one, that aluminum industries of a company. then other mining industries and other heavy tools manufacturing industry were listed under the Schedule B. Next is the Schedule C. In Schedule C, all other remaining industries were listed. Means Schedule C comprises all other industries apart from the Schedule A and Schedule B. So comprises all other remaining industries, and private sector were given the main role to bring development in the other industries apart from the Schedule A and Schedule B under the guidance of government, under the management of government. Means apart from Schedule A and Schedule B industries, all other remaining industries came under Schedule C, and the major responsibility was given to the private sector to bring the development in all that other type of industries. But the control is of the government, and that control government used to do by the licensing procedure and through the IDR Act 1951. Now what is this licensing procedure? Licensing procedure here refers to that any private sector enterprise want to establish a new plant, then they have to get a license from the government. Or any existing private industry want to expand or want to do the diversification of their industry, they need to seek the permission from the government. If government is convinced, government will give the license to start the industries. On the other hand, if a private entrepreneur want to start the industry in a underdeveloped area, rural area, backward area, then it was easy to obtain the license. So this is about the important element of the IPR, and we have done the first one, that is the classification of industries based on the ownership. So the first important element of IPR we have learned, that is the classification of industries of a country have been done in 3 different categories on the basis of ownership, and these 3 categories are Schedule A, Schedule B and Schedule C. Schedule A comprises 17 industries, Schedule B comprises 12 industries, and Schedule C comprises all other remaining industries apart from Schedule A and Schedule B. This was the first element of IPR. Next one, second one, licensing procedure, and third one is the industrial support. Under IPR, the second important element is the licensing procedure. It means any private entrepreneur want to establish a new company have to obtain license, from the government. If they have to expand their existing enterprise or they want to diversify their production line, then again they have to seek a permission. for expansion and diversification. They have to obtain the license from the whom? From the government. So this is the important element of the IPR, that is Industrial Policy Resolution 1956. And the last one is the industrial support. As per the IPR 1956, the various help and support will be given to the entrepreneur to develop the industries in a country. So these are the three important elements of the IPR, that is Industrial Policy Resolution 1956. Dear children, today we have learned the topic, that is industrial development from 1950 to 1990. In this topic we have learned the first, role of public sector unit. Then we have learned small scale industries, and the last we have learned the Industrial Policy Resolution 1956. So we came to know by learning all these subtopics the condition of industrial sector during 1950 to 1990. Now my dear children, it's time to download the assignments from the ERP, and you have to do this assignment in your economics homework copy, take a picture and upload on the ERP. Thank you. Have a nice day.